You mentioned a game plan. So, I mean, $250,000 is a lot of money with true passive income. And I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, I have rentals; those are passive income."
Yeah.
Semi-passive, I would say. I think it depends on how well you're set up, your systems and processes. I don't know if you want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah. I mean, so I would say mine is half. So maybe I shouldn't say true. Mine is half. So 50% of our income comes from the co-living portfolio. I have a property manager in place, and they run the day-to-day operations. And then, I'm checking in with them, once a week on Thursdays is our day. And then the other half is strictly like mailbox money, checks to my bank account, debts, money from different funds, from ATMs, from oil and gas, from multifamily, from self-storage, like all different types of asset classes coming in every month. Yeah. Yeah. So the way I think about this world of private investment funds is um, is that you are the money partner in a business venture, right? So Jesse, right now you are, building up your co-living portfolio, and you in this case would be the general partner. And if most people approach this, they want to go out and buy a business or buy, real estate or buy Airbnbs or, buy a laundromat. And all of those things are very active. And, think of any kind of active business venture um, where someone is managing the investment, and then being a passive investor is literally just me partnering with someone like you and giving you money. So anything that you can do actively, I mean, I don't know about anything. I might go out on a limb here, but like for the most part, if someone is doing something actively and they need a money partner, that's what we're talking about here. So, um, someone could invest alongside you and be a passive investor. I'm investing alongside people of them buying and identifying multifamily apartment buildings, people going out and buying self-storage, the people that have run oil wells for the last 40 years. Like, I'm the partner that's going to go give them money on their next drilling project. Like, that's what it kind of looks like in basic terms.
That makes sense. I love that. So for someone to have that ability, you need cash, right? You need to be able
Yeah,
to have
totally.
some cash. So I'm curious, what was the main source for you to actually have that cash that you're able to allocate towards, those different, investment
Yeah.
strategies?
Yeah. So there were two major things that happened. So the one, as I mentioned, my dad passed away, and my mom had an inheritance of a couple mil, right? So I had to then figure out how to help her invest that. So that was one. The other was uh, back in 2013. I have to go back and check. 2012 or 2013. I made a 100K investment into Tesla with my dad. Made a bunch of money from real estate. And, that's when I was like partnering with Diego. I had a Facebook advertising company. I was like living in Bali for 6 months, and I was making, $14,000-15,000 a month as a 23-year-old. And I was living off $1,000 a month, living like a king. It was, and that's how those kind of different pieces all contributed towards having that capital to invest. And I think when you're earlier on in your journey, you have more money than time. And so naturally, you are the person that kind of becomes the operator of something. And the other is when you get older, or once you've had some success, that's when you're like, wow, I finally have a liquidation event. I don't have that much time to do everything. I might have might have my business, I might start something new. I might have a family. I might want to take some time off. And you have more money than time. And so that's kind of where that equation flips.
Let me ask you this, because I'm interested in your thought process, because I like the way you think. And I was listening to a couple of your podcasts. I'm like, I got to ask you. So, my head, what I was doing, I was working in corporate America. You know, my salary was like 100K plus commissions. I was working corporate sales. And then I was like, once I hit that 100K, then that will give me kind of that safety net to then go start a business that I'm like passionate about and earn, my financial freedom, because I can, live off of 8 to 10K a month pretty easily as a single guy at 30. So
Totally.
that was my like thought process and idea. What was yours? Were you like, I need to hit a certain number? Did you want to start a business after you hit that financial freedom number? I'm asking you a lot of questions here, but I want to throw one more in there, because I thought that once I hit passive income number and once I had financial independence, that I was going to chill. And then I realized I can't scale, first of all, if I'm chilling. And then second of all, like, I got all this energy. I'm still young. I'm still ambitious. I still want to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm finding is that people, once they hit the number, the goalposts move, right? I think it's more of, I also have had this experience multiple times now where, first I hit financial freedom when I was, 25, and I was making the $3,500 a month from the rentals, and I was making 14, 15K a month from the Facebook ad agency. And I was at a point where I was like, oh, I could sit on the beach in Thailand and travel around for a couple days or a week. And it's like, I get so bored. Like, all of us want to find purpose of some kind. And if it changed the equation from I need to work to I want to work. And it wasn't like, when I first hit it the first time of $3,500 and you're 23, like that's I mean, if that's coming in every month and you start seeing those numbers grow over time, like that changes the way that you think. But, you know, the first question you kind of talked about was, maybe I'd rephrase it as, hey, if I'm working my corporate job, does it maybe make sense to like go start this side hustle, or what is the right path? And I think if I think about that question, here's I talk with people a lot about this. I think it's, you need to decide what your path is, right? Is your path, I'm going to work in a career and I'm going to put all my eggs into like climbing the corporate ladder and get into multiple six figures and try and stuff away, or I get into like a sales commission role where I can earn hundreds of $1,000s if I'm a really good sales rep. And like, let's say you're this professional sales rep, or you're a doctor, right? Like going and then investing in an Airbnb and or co-living for them to try and maximize a couple properties, that starts to eat up all of their time. And where they make the most money with their time is in their primary venture, like in their sales job or in their corporate career. So it makes more sense for them to double down on their path and invest it passively to not get distracted, unless your goal is to do something else. Like if your goal is to become the Airbnb or co-living king, right? Then yeah, like taking your main hustle and saying, hey, I'm going to put in the enough hours here, and I'm going to focus the rest of my time in getting really good at this other skill, because that's how I want to learn how to make a lot of money, and that eventually be where I make most of my money. Then yeah, I think that totally makes sense. I think where it doesn't make sense is if it's like, hey, I'm just doing this thing because I can get some passive income. But if you have to manage 10, 20, 30 homes in order to replace your salary, like that's another job, and a whole set of it's and as I've gotten older, I've just like become more and more aware of that time trade-off and like, what is it that I'm trying to focus on? How do you think about that?